Hello grade 8 learner! Welcome to another video lesson in mathematics. In this video lesson, we will be discussing the rectangular coordinate system and its uses. It's another great day to learn, so prepare your module, pen, and paper as you start watching and learning from this video lesson. Happy learning! This lesson is based on the K-12 curriculum learning competency. The learner illustrates the rectangular coordinate system and its uses. By the end of this lesson, you, the learner, should be able to describe what the rectangular coordinate system is and to use it to describe the location of ordered pairs of numbers. Let's begin the lesson. To describe the relation between a pair of quantities represented by x and y, we use the rectangular coordinate system, or what we can call as the Cartesian plane, in honor of its creator, the French mathematician René Descartes. Here, we represent an ordered pair of numbers as a point that we are going to locate in the space of the plane to study the relation between the two quantities that the numbers represent. The coordinate plane is composed of two perpendicular lines where the horizontal line is called the x-axis, while the vertical number line is called the y-axis. The point where the x and y axes intersect is called the point of origin, represented by the ordered pair 0, 0. Let us describe the things that we need to identify in the coordinate plane. Within the space of the coordinate plane are the points that correspond to an ordered pair of numbers which we are going to symbolize as x, y. Look at the pair of points in the example. The first number represents the value of x, or the first quantity that we are comparing. This value of x is called as the x-coordinate, or the abscissa of the ordered pair. The second number represents the value of y, or the second quantity that we are comparing. We call this the y-coordinate, or the ordinate of the ordered pair. The number lines, or the x and y axis, divide the coordinate plane into 4 quadrants. These quadrants can help us locate the points easier based on the signs of the x and y coordinates of the points. The first quadrant, quadrant 1, contains points whose abscissa and ordinate are both positive. Quadrant 2 contains points whose abscissa is negative but whose ordinate is positive. Quadrant 3 contains points whose abscissa and ordinate are both negative. And finally, quadrant 4 contains points whose abscissa is positive but whose ordinate is negative. So how do we use this rectangular coordinate system? To plot the point 3, 2 on the coordinate plane, we follow these steps. First, we start at the point of origin. To move towards the location of the point 3, 2, we look at the ordered pair. The abscissa, or the x-coordinate, is positive 3, which means we should move 3 units to the right, horizontally along the x-axis. From that point, we next move along the y-axis according to the y-coordinate. Positive 2 means that we move up 2 units. Now that we've moved along the x and y axis, we now have arrived at the location of point 3, 2, which we now label as point A. Were you able to follow the steps in plotting a point on the coordinate plane? Let's see another example. To plot the point -2, -3, first we start at the origin. Based on the abscissa -2, we are going to move to the left along the x-axis. So comparing it to what we did in our previous example, having a negative abscissa means we move left, while a positive one means we move right. Going back to our point, after moving 2 units to the left, we now move 3 units down along the y-axis because of the ordinate -3. So again, comparing this to our previous example, having a negative ordinate means we move down, while a positive ordinate means we move up along the y-axis. So now that we've moved along the x and y axis, we now draw the point on the location where we stopped. And this point represents the location of the point -2, -3. Let's have more examples of plotting points. Let's plot the point 0, -3 on the coordinate plane. Let's follow the steps. We start at the point of origin. The next step says that we move according to our abscissa, but the x-coordinate that we have in our point is 0. This means we don't move along the x-axis and we proceed to our next step. We have -3 as our ordinate, so that means we move down 3 units along the y-axis. Then we draw the point that represents the location of 0, -3 and label it as point C. Take note that if the x-coordinate is 0, the point is not on any quadrant, but it's on the y-axis. Compare this next example to the previous example. Let's plot 5, 0 on the coordinate plane. We start at the origin, then move 5 units to the right along the x-axis because our abscissa is +5. But because our ordinate is 0, that means we stop at 5 on the x-axis and draw the point there to represent the location of point 50 on the graph. This example tells us that if the y-coordinate in the point is 0, the point will not be on the quadrants, but will be on the x-axis itself. Were you able to follow the discussion on how to plot points? Good job if you did. Now let's see how we can identify the points that are already on the coordinate plane. For example, we identify the coordinates of point E, which we see on quadrant 2. To identify the abscissa, we check the x-axis to see the number that the point is aligned to. Here, we see that the point is aligned with -4 on the x-axis. That means the abscissa is -4. For the ordinate, we check the y-axis to see the number that the point is aligned to. And we see that point E is aligned with +2 on the y-axis. This means that the ordinate is 2. Thus, The coordinates of point E are -4, 2. Do you think you can identify the coordinates of point F? Let's see. What number on the x-axis is the point aligned to? That's right, it's +2. What number on the y-axis is the point aligned to? You're correct, it's -2. From those answers, we see that the coordinates of point F are +2, -2. Now you try. Answer the following questions regarding point G to practice what you have learned. Pause this video first before we reveal the answer. Done? Check if you got the correct answer. What are the coordinates of point G? We see that the point is aligned with -4 on the x-axis and -3 on the y-axis, which makes the coordinate of point G be -2, -3. Did you get it right? Good job! On what quadrant is point G located in? Seeing that the coordinates of point G are both negative, that means the point is in the third quadrant. Congratulations for finishing another video lesson. If there are some things which are still not clear to you regarding this topic, you can always replay this video, read your module, or ask help from your teacher to improve your learning. To quote the writer Weston H. Agore, making mistakes simply means you're learning faster. Keep on learning, dear learner, and we'll see you again in our next video lesson.